Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the DreamLeague Season 13 Group C best of three match of the upper bracket of the group stage. Alliance versus Invictus IG. My name is Sunsfan, joined by Cinder. Good morning. As you can tell, I've woken up very recently, Cinderin. How are you?
Yeah. Who do you? I'm good. I'm just curious. Who do you think is the favorite in this matchup? Based on what we saw yesterday, Alliance did really well. How well did you think did?
They dropped game one. They looked a little sloppy, but then the next two games were very clinical. They just completely destroyed Reality Rift. So based on yesterday's games alone, Alliance has the advantage, but we came into this tournament thinking that 3 of the 4 teams of this group are pretty closely skilled. So I think it'll be a good 3-game series.
Radiant team.
Right.
Why? Do you have different thoughts, sir?
I didn't watch the IG games that closely, but I was impressed by Alliance. So for me, going in there, the favorites. I would say I think 3 games is also very likely, but you know, it kind of depends what team shows up on the day, right? Alliance, if they play like yesterday, I definitely think they could take it 2-0. Their drafts were great, their team play was great, their positioning, everything was just better than VP. But it's always one of those things where maybe VP just weren't on the ball either that day.
Mm-hmm.
And Alliance looked better by comparison than they should. But until I get a reason to believe that they're not as good as they looked, then I will believe it.
And these teams, maybe not as familiar with each other as VP and Alliance would be, since I assume they would be scrim partners at some point, since they're in the general same region. But we're going to see Doom Band along with Tiny and Slarky Malarkey. So this is like the clash of 2 different, I don't want to call them metas, but they picked like totally different heroes, which is always fun to see when they actually end up facing each other, to see what they actually prioritize.
Yeah, I think both teams rate Io the best hero in the game right now. I would not be surprised, at least if IG do as well. They're actually they're gonna ban it. They don't want to play it themselves as first pick. Interesting. Because Kaka does play Io, but maybe their team philosophy right now or their play style just doesn't use that very well. Maybe Kaka needs to play actively. He played Tusk yesterday, I know, in one of the games at least. What did he play in the other games?
I can look it up real quick if you want to keep talking.
No, I don't really want to keep talking. I kind of
okay.
I'll just let you burn a little bit.
Job.
Thank you.
Dire team pick.
So 3 games. What position did you say?
Radiant team.
You said Kaka?
Yeah, Kaka.
He played Zerubik. He played
Tusk.
Zetusk and Disruptor.
Right. So all games with like 4s that can fight and catch. So if they want to follow that recipe, then Io is not really his kind of hero for this team, at least. They're going to get a first pick Trant, though, against Alliance. So what's the trade-off going to be? What top tier heroes do we have? We have Omni and Abaddon. We have the potential of Avenged Drow strat.
Radiant team pick.
Disruptor. They banned Doom themselves. The first phase Slark ban from IG as first pick is a bit unusual as well, actually. I don't think that's a hero you really 8-9.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what they did in their last draft. They had a first phase. Yeah, they banned it first phase in one of the games against Reality Rift. Actually, in 2 of the 3 games, they banned it. I think what happened was Slark was picked. Yeah, Slark was picked by Reality Rift in game 1, and that's the game they won. And then IG banned 3, I believe, of the 5 heroes, and then picked a 4th hero that that Reality Rift had played, and then they just kept the same bans throughout the entire series.
And Slark was one of those.
Yes.
Okay.
They can't handle it.
I mean, Slark has definitely been gaining a lot of popularity, but I personally don't really think you pick it in the slot that Alliance has right now. But maybe the balance has shifted so much that you can do it. Okay. I was not expecting that one.
I love me some Brewmaster.
There's some really crazy counterplay potential in this hero against Treant, but it's very situational and very high skill. with, I mean, it's not that hard to press the spell, but it's about the foresight of seeing the fight
10
coming so that
seconds
you have
remaining.
Brew ulti running, and then when he uses Overgrowth, you AoE dispel everybody and remove the
5
roots.
seconds remaining.
You can purge off living armor. It's pretty nice. It's also a hero that wants to group up and push with a 5-man team, which plays against Treant's ability to heal up towers. If you're playing against Treant, it's really good that you can take a tower from 100 to 0 in a push, and
Dire team banned.
Brewmaster is definitely one of the heroes.
Yeah, how much? What demolition does he get from his Earth Panda? Do you know offhand?
I think it's 150%,
Radiant dire team
Pretty good.
banned.
but I'm not completely sure. It's a lot, demolish at least. But it's not only himself and his damage, it's like the playstyle, right? It's that you're going to go to a tower, use Primal Split, there's a fight. If you win the fight, you get the tower. If you draw the fight, you might still be able to create so much chaos and just have siege creeps damage the tower, or have a secondary hero like Leshrac edicting it,
10
whatever it
seconds
is, and then you
remaining.
can get a tower that way.
Level 1 is 90 building
5
attack
seconds
damage.
remaining.
Second is 180. Third is
Radiant
270.
team banned.
Percent, or yeah, well, it has to be percent.
It must be. It doesn't.
If that was flat damage, that would be some shit.
I mean, we've seen. I mean, imagine
When I hit
how
the
does it
tower,
work with
300
IO
damage.
and Brew in late game? Does that work as
It
intended?
might wait. It might actually be flat because that's before armor, and towers have pretty high damage reduction. I'm not sure actually about this.
10 seconds
No,
remaining.
we'll just assume that you're correct in everything you say.
That's a
5
relatively good
seconds
assumption.
remaining.
I would say.
Of course, we should mention that not only did they pick Tree, but they take it away from Fada. That's the only hero he played yesterday. Actually, they only played 2 games, of course, in
Wait, did you play
destroying
Treant
Virtus
both
Pro.
games?
Okay, now you're gonna make me question myself, Cinderin.
He played it in the IO game, I'm sure.
I'm almost positive he played at both games.
Yeah, I
because he
think
was
you're
dominant.
right. I think you're right. He played both games.
He was being super annoying, and I was a little bit surprised that they didn't end up banning it for VP side. But we're gonna see the PL Naga band along with Invoker and one more to come.
Just protecting Drow, right? These are 2 of the biggest counters right now in terms of course against Drow. They can both. PL has really good catch, or reach rather, and Naga has too much tankiness that Drow can't really deal with. She can't kill the illusions, and when she gets overwhelmed, the fight is lost for her. Drow will always want to play on range advantage, and any hero that can close the gap and that you can't fight into is really bad to face. So even against Naga, you can just Song of the Siren and run on top of the Drow, and if she doesn't have BKB, she's dead. And if she does, she's running away, which is also bad.
10 seconds
I mean, to a
remaining.
degree,
don't
they
really
kind of have 2 heroes that can. Well, at least the Brewmaster is the hero that's going to be
5
running at
seconds
her,
remaining.
right? From Alliance's side.
It's not what they have already is not bad against Drow. I think you try to maybe double down on the aggression here as Alliance. You have, what do you have for Limp here? Is he going to play Puck? Maybe.
Puck's winning
It's a
rift
lot in
was
the way
changed that
of-
it doesn't work in roots anymore, right? Or do you have to double tap it? Or you double tap it, you just don't move, right? So you can
Yeah,
still
it
silence.
works, but you stay in place.
Okay. Venomancer.
Okay.
What
Well,
position
more
is
in
this?
the way
Is that a
of
3?
5-man.
Well, actually, the Brewmaster's a 3, right?
It's probably a 4 Veno.
Okay.
But it's an open-ended pick. Veno can play technically every single role. It's one of the few heroes that I would say can
10
actually play all
seconds
5 roles.
remaining.
I think Alliance are
seconds
aiming
remaining.
for still just playing into this ball up and go, right? Now you have the Brew Split, you have Plague Wards, super annoying to fight into from that perspective. Maybe you think about something like a Lycan, and you really commit for that push.
Wow. Lycan.
Maybe there's the potential for a Leshrac. Like, I'm a bit worried for Alliance now if they don't fully commit the whole draft through to this idea. If they backtrack now and do something half and half, I think their lineup is not going to be good enough. You need to play Brew and Veno's timing now in the game. So to me, Lycan still looks really good, especially with the protection of Brewmaster. You could, if you get Overgrowth, you can just dispel it with Brew, and then Lycan absolutely destroy Skywrath Mage. It's unplayable for Sky. You send all the units at him. He has no base armor. His movement speed is not a factor against Lycan. He's too fast. You just die. The fight is not playable for him. This is another option. We've seen this hero played against Drow at the minor as well. It did lose, but it should have won. RNG had a 40,000 gold lead with Spectre and lost, which is kind of unheard of.
Unheard of, for sure.
But Spectre has been nerfed, and the game is different now. We always need to be a little bit careful with trusting our instincts on gold graphs because they just prove time and time again to not work like you're used to because of neutral items having no value, because of Aghanim's Scepter drop being worth 6,000 net worth. Even if you put it on a hero that it's not particularly good on, you're just inflating their net worth like crazy relative to how strong they are. So,
is there any scenario in a game where you just don't use the Aghanim Scepter from Roche? Like, how big of a deal is that?
If the Ag Scepter is bad enough, then maybe.
So it's on LC?
Yeah, honestly, on Legion, I might not even pick it up. No joke. Or just
put it in the base?
Yeah.
Or you can just gift it to the enemy and increase their net worth.
Oh.
Next level
I like
plays.
that. If you could specifically drop it in their inventory so they don't choose to pick it up, but you just give it to the guy you want, it's like, big fuck you.
If they have an LC, they get completely wrecked.
I like that.
So you like Spectre here, right? Because you got the chase for both. Well, the Drow and obviously, like you said, Skyrats just get decimated in the mid to late game.
I like it in part. I like it for similar reasons that I like Lycan. But it's a different approach a bit. So I still think it plays. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe a little bit awkward. The reason I think it's okay is, so I was saying you need to play Brew and Venos timing. I think they peak around the mid to late game, not super late. And Spectre actually hits a decent timing when she has her first 1 or 2 items. So this is not a game where you want to go 6-slotted Spectre, I think. You're probably planning on taking this decisive mid-game timing on all your heroes. With Lycan, it would have been more all-in and even stronger, but Spectre's lifetime is a little bit better, I think. So it's okay. It's the hero that can run down Skywrath. It's a hero that can run down Drow. Wants to buy Manta, which counters Treant. So I think it's solid. I personally would have liked Lycan a bit more, but I'm seeing that every game where I'm like, wow, Lycan would be good here, nobody ever picks it. So maybe the hero's just too bad.
Everyone hates playing
I'm a bit
Lycan.
surprised.
Does anybody actually enjoy that hero? Just seems miserable to play. Other than
I'm 3-1 with Lycan. My last game was in 2015.
3-1. Wow, that's very impressive. It's a very good win rate.
Maybe I should play Lycan more. He's sitting at 50% win rate in Divine. Plus.
Oh, really? That's actually
perfectly balanced hero. 50.0.
You know, I'm a 3-0 Arc Warden player, Cinderin. I don't know if you know that. I'm 100%.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
This just proves we can't trust the stats. If I'm 3-1 on Lycan and you're 3-0 on Arc Warden, you need more data. So, Legion Commander... Yeah, Legion Commander, first of all, good against Spectre, right? It's an easy lane. If you're against a Venom support, you can purge the Gale. If you're against a Disruptor support, you can purge the Thunderstrike with Press the Attack. So very nice pick, I think, from IG. And they rounded out with a Storm, who currently has 0 counters in the game.
No catch, pretty much, right? No stuns.
Yeah, you're only dealing with Glimpse, but that kind of, most of the time, that matchup more likely favors the Storm, actually, because he can jump the Disruptor and kill him.
That is one hideous Dragon Knight set. My God, Limp, what have you done to this hero?
There's one of the best sets in the whole game is on this hero.
And this is what he chooses. Good God. This is an abomination. Anyway, what do you think of Dragon Knight? Because in lane, won't really die to a Storm Spirit, at least not that easily. Very tanky. You finally get your stun, but it is a projectile now. When it's especially in dragon form.
But the biggest thing is that they have a tanky frontliner that wants to go and push the towers, right? With their Brewmaster and Venom. We talked about that earlier in the draft. That's probably what they're looking at. And the Spectre threw me off a little bit, but it's still... It looks like a lineup that's in sync with itself, and there's a clear game plan. And I think what you need to look out for as Alliance now is that you don't let Storm run rampant. If Storm is controlled... I think Dragon Knight will have a pretty good game. He's one of the better heroes against Drow because his passive gives him plus armor, not base armor. And that matters a lot against marksmanship. So
Yeah, that's true. What a good clean hero. Now,
Yeah.
do people buy Ags on this guy? I mean, he's not picked that often, but is this like a third, fourth item on the hero? I feel like it is.
I don't think it's particularly good this game.
Really?
Yeah,
Why would
because
you
I
say
think
such thing? Why?
you probably want something that empowers your team more than anything. I think you want to get a dagger so you have the reliable catch. You want an AC for your drow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or sorry, not for your drow, for your specter, and just AoE armor, AoE plus armor against drow, right? Maybe you could get it.
Really should.
I still think BKB might be a better option, so that you can reliably break out of Overgrowth and Skywrath stuff. Although the magic resistance is nice.
What is it, 30 or 40? Let's see.
I think it's 30%.
Does not... Of course, this tooltip never says anything. Why am I even looking? So yeah, should be
Grants
interesting to see
additional
what we
magic
actually-
resistance. Well, there
Yes.
you go.
Could be 100% for all we know. Maybe that is the choice, Syndrin.
That'll be really good.
Well, Alliance is going to group up very early looking for a potential first blood. They will probably use Spectral Dagger to full effect here. They're going to run right in to the Drow and the tree. Let's see who actually gets the aggression off here. Limp is going to get the Breathe Fire. Looks like Oli is in a lot of trouble. First blood going the way of Handskin, so ends up being in the favor of Alliance, obviously, and they should be able to have enough time to get probably 3 bounty runes. We'll see.
There's no way they get the bottom ones, right? They sent all 5 heroes top.
I mean, somebody's going to go there. Oh,
Yeah, he'll be too late.
it's
though.
too late.
Crossing
Sad
the map
days.
takes a deceptively long time, actually. Oh, Fata with another Gale. See, this is
Kaka
something that...
very, very slow. Fly is here just for moral support, if nothing else. And actually could get the deny off, and will do so. Good old Gale.
Classic position 5 with a 15-second slow.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
It's
What are
good.
What are the deniable spells in the game now? You got Shadow Strike, Gale, and I think there's one more.
Doom?
Yeah, Doom. I think that might be it now. It's very, very small amount of spells. Maybe there's a 4th hero, but
Or did Doom get... There was one spell where they removed the ability to deny, right? They removed your self-denies with Mist Coil and Rot, and then there was one offensive one, right? Was it Doom? I don't know.
no, Doom
Maybe
you can
not.
definitely deny still. 100%.
You can still deny? Okay.
Oh, yeah,
then
for
maybe
sure.
not.
Fly taking heavy, heavy damage here. So it's going to be the Disruptor, Brewmaster, and Veno tri-lane. That looks disgusting. I don't know if they're
That's
actually
really
going to stick with this, though. Do they actually stay here? Like, where's Brew going? Just going to go pull?
You
Or
have
block
the
camp, it looks like.
option to do this and sacrifice your Spectre for a few minutes, because no matter who you send bottom, you lose that lane anyway. So maybe their mindset is, we're going to get Nico back in the game a bit later. He gets levels, so he gets Haunt, and he will get the gold from joining team fights. Because this top
Ollie
lane, you know, like,
is dead again. I mean, these
they-
are just very, very easy kills, too. It's not brain surgery.
You can't get a creep as Drow in this lane. Realistically, you can't farm at all.
But is there a point... I mean, if you keep killing the tree, obviously it's great. But is there a point where you're just leeching too much XP from the likes of Brew? Okay. Well, as I say that, Veno goes to the bot lane. Gets another Gale onto his favorite hero, Kaka. Of course, PTA is used to take it off immediately.
Oh, not again.
Not again, please.
I have PTA SD.
PTASD. So Nico Baby now has a support in the form of Venomancer, which is always nice. So it should be doing a little bit better now. But it was well worth it. They got a couple kills. Another Gale onto Kaka, but pressed the attack. Used again to take it off. Meanwhile, top lane, kinetic field. Not enough to save the Brewmaster as the multi-shot. Remember when I talked about how amazing this spell was? As bottom lane, Venomancer will die as well. And you weren't a believer in multi-shot, Syndrin. And I told you, it's a great skill.
I mean, didn't it get buffed?
Yes.
And then nerfed.
Yes.
It's had a couple of iterations in like 2 weeks.
I told you.
In this time. This spell is really good now. There's no denying it. It's really strong.
So in turn, we talked briefly about the mid lane, Dragon Knight versus Storm Spirit. I assume DK should be at least able to live. Are they just going to trade farm for the most part?
Yeah, I think this lane is largely a draw. Dragon Knight will be farming because he can sustain, and Storm will take the CS because he has more damage whenever he remnants. DK can't deny. So usually I think this lane is kind of just a wash. Limp did get a double damage rune though, so that gave him a tiny bit of an advantage for a little bit, but Emo is still doing completely fine.
At what point? Oh, we're going to see another Gale in the bot lane, but press the attack yet again. You know, I won't even say that anybody gets Galed if there's a press the attack available. We'll just assume it's not a spell anymore.
Good
Nico
harass
Baby
on
taking
Nico.
heavy damage now. You better be careful. Arcane Bolt's going to connect. He should be fine. Fata will take a few more right clicks as well, and health salve for Nico Baby and Fata.
IG's laning stage has stabilized a lot. Well, never mind, they died tough, but
Ollie dies
outside
again.
of
That's
that,
their death. Well,
with how it
Firefly
started
hasn't died,
out-
right? He's 1-0, so that's one positive. For IG.
yeah, Drow's game is getting. I mean, he's the same. He's ahead of Spectre by 300. I think that's completely fine. Legion Commander's having an awesome time, and Fata is struggling. This Dispel pick is really messing with them a lot. Oh, Kaka might die though. Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Spectral Dagger used after the press the attack, so not getting double value from that. Very nicely played from Alliance there. I do have a skilling question that I don't know the answer to. For Dragon Knight, when you're laning here, when do you actually... Okay, so he did get Dragon Tail. Is this pretty normal to get it at level 5?
Yeah, I would say 2-1-2 is pretty common.
Flyfly in the meantime, taking more damage, but will be protected by his tower, Handskin. Gonna take a couple of right clicks from Ollie, who's very angry that he's an 0-3 Treant right now. Definitely not a normal thing for Treant Protector players out there. They're usually off to amazing starts.
Yeah, losing lane on Treant is a pretty big deal. The hero... It's not like you can't play Treant from behind, but it just makes such a big difference to get that fast level 10, or... You know, if you're ahead of the curve, Nature's Grasp is a really powerful spell, but he's been slowed down very, very well with these 3 kills on him. Still, I should mention, though, that regardless, Veno's game is about as dumpster, too. Okay, Kaka. Interesting choice to plant a tree there for the Super Tango. He will be saved.
Yeah,
Or
press
will
the
he?
attack finally comes
He's
in,
actually
but
dead.
Kaka very slow thanks to the poison sting, and it ends up all being wasted. A tree was killed for nothing. That poor, poor tree. All right, back to this Dragon Knight. He's going to be level 6 now. Gets the Dragon Tail off onto the Storm Spirit. So about a half level advantage for Limp right now. With that double bracer, extremely tanky. And top lane, even more harassment coming out. Flyfly level 4 on the Drow Ranger. She's working with a 17-5 CS versus the opposite side, Spectre 17-3. So in terms of just farm, the Spectre is a little bit behind.
Yeah, it's minimal, but the bigger difference is that Drow got the kill, right? But Spectre, never mind.
Spectre
Spectre
has
just
one.
got one too, so that's why they're kind of neck and neck here. Yeah, it's kind of a... Oh, that's a big kill. Limp with
Ow.
another DD. I think he's had DD
Goodness.
haste DD
Wow.
in mid. That is...
And the tip to try and tilt. This is not a kill I was expecting at all.
He
Not
should
gonna
hit
lie.
the
That's
tower.
very difficult.
Dyer's structures are
Oh, he didn't
Oh,
get a single
fortified
hit off on
anyway.
the tower with Corrosive Breath.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Flyfly, more Thunder Strikes to take. Probably one of the more annoying heroes. I mean, we talk about both Venomancer being an annoying hero, but I think Disruptor with Thunder Strike has got to be up there as well, especially since the changes to the attack speed every time it procs.
is under attack. I feel like
Yeah, that, like mini stagger, basically. 100% move speed and attack speed slow for 0.1 second. I wonder who came up with that.
A real sadist.
I guess. It's a pretty random change, but I mean, conceptually, it makes a bit of sense, right?
Yep. I mean, it
You
ends
get
up
shocked.
scaling better into the
Oh,
late
he could
game.
glimpse here.
What? Oh, God, where
No
am I?
gust
Synderen.
skilled.
Fly! Taking a lot of
he
damage.
might
Courier is
actually
coming with a
live.
salve. He's going to pop it and actually helps him survive into the multi-shot. 33 is taking a lot of damage. Oh, he actually dies first, though. The living armor wasn't enough to keep him alive. He actually could have lived, Synderen. That was an interesting play. Really wanted to
Yeah,
kill,
for
though.
sure. He could have absolutely lived by just running away. But,
Yeah, bottom lane, Gale being PTA'd off again. I'm going to try to turn this around is Spectre. Does have the dispersion, of course. level 1 right now. Applying all the pressure to Kaka. We'll fight. The deny comes out from JT. This Gale been denied twice now.
Honestly, I'll say these lanes are actually really funny to watch because it's so... There's so much play potential and so many random interactions that you don't generally see that it's pretty funny.
Yeah, living armor on the tower is not really going to stand up against the Dragon Knight. And he will get the tower at the 820 mark. So
it's really good.
His ult will be back in time for... actually, it's pretty much just in sync with the 10-minute outpost. See if they try to use that.
It's a moment too late.
I mean, you can get there in time. So give or take a few seconds. Is that something you think about when you pop this ult? Like, I need this for the outpost? Or is it just like, I don't care, I want to get this tower?
Not in this instance, at least. Like, the tower is more important. Getting that tower is huge for the game. All right, Dragon Tail. And Emo is taking, like, almost 1,000 damage every time he gets Dragon Tailed.
But the good news is he has a shovel, so everything's fine.
Yeah, he'll dig up a salve, whatever.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That item actually is like super value. Even if you just get a bunch of TPs, that's like TPs you never have to buy again. It's actually really good. Unless it's the Kobold, which for me it always is. You know how they say you can't get 2 in a row? Yeah, but then it drops a
neutral item.
Yeah, that's true. It'll drop you. What's the best item for Storm this game? How's Essence Ring on this hero? It's not that bad. It's okay.
Not that good.
It's not like Wisp though.
No, not at all. I love that we're talking about Essence Ring in every game now. I think in tier 1 the best item Storm can get is probably Royal Jelly.
I love it. Man, Kezu was saying he doesn't like Royal Jelly, and I was personally offended. Because first of all, I love it, and it sounds delicious.
Faded Brooch are probably the best.
Yeah, Faded Brooch is super solid. Well, Emo is now in the bot lane. Fata and Nico playing it very defensive, so it looks to be a trade in terms of outposts, as we've kind of seen across the board in most of these games. 33 in the meantime. Applying a little pressure to this tier 1 tower. They should be able to get this without any more
build.
defending.
This is some next level shit. 0-3-2 build, rushing Helm of the Dawn.
You have to hold your horses, Cinder, and the Spectre does die in this bot lane. I'll pretend that I actually watched that myself.
Okay.
Early in the morning here, guys. Don't worry about it. But the tier 1 tower looks to be dead anyway. Sorry, what were you saying about 33, his build?
He didn't skill Thunderclap. He's level 6 with a 0-3-2 build because of the synergy between Cinderbrew and Thunderstrike. And then he bought Helm of the Dom so that they can push.
He had his ult, but was silenced and then directly dueled. And that's going to be the first duel victory for JT.
Oh, Nico, if you... Oh my god, that is... Oh. So I'm not sure if Nico haunted with the perspective of joining the top fight if they got Brewmaster ulti off, or if he just haunted for efficiency to go mid and farm. He instantly got killed by Emo with a double damage rune. That is very, very bad. No, yes. He haunted mid and got killed instantly. So sure, he has a TP now, but you haunted to kill yourself. That's very bad. It's also the mental part, right? Like, you just feel bad. You need to reset after a move like this. It's just... That was a blunder.
What do you think of Spectre as a hero coming back from stuff like this? Is this... You just go AFK for like 20 minutes and finally get whatever items you're going for? What would he be going for this game? Like a Radiance? Is that still the standard?
I think he might go Manta first item.
First item? Ugh.
Yeah, because he needs to be able to break off Sky Silence, Drow Silence, and Overgrowth. There's too many problems. I think any other item, he just gets controlled by one of these spells and gets killed.
But that must feel really bad, right? To have to go Manta first. On any hero. Feels terrible.
Spectre is one of the best, just because of how good it is with Desolate, right? It's a true damage item on Spectre. The illusions have
quite good. Handskin getting initiated on from Emo. Limp jumps in with that newly picked up Blink Dagger. Seeing the Sky with Mage ult use a pretty decent effect. Disruptor is forced to fall. Limp, this Dragon form will not last too long as the duel comes into play. That is the second duel victory for him as 33 pop the Primal Split, but will have to run away in shame. How much HP does he actually have on this here? He's full HP. As the Gale into the Poison Nova. Ollie looks to be probably dying here one way or the other, unless they get a deny. But the Brewmaster is really what they want. will be successful in getting away for now. Fly will die just at the last moment.
No, it was Treant.
The Treant died.
The sound, I thought he died as well because I was listening for the sound. Like, you're looking at him, you hear the sound of a dead hero, and you think it's Drow. He actually got out on like 5% HP and healed up in the fountain. And, well, that all Alliance got for that was a Treant kill. They used Primal Split. They didn't lose in the buildings, though. And that's still what we should be looking out for, right? Like, you have a Spectre lineup. You want to try to get Spectre online. And the key thing for being able to farm that is just having that safety net, basically, of your towers protecting you to give her the jungle space that she needs. But, yeah, it's a long road for Nico. He at least got the kill on Treant, right? Yeah, he got the kill. So there's a bit of gold there.
Storm Spirit ganking the crap out of this tomato. He hates cherry tomatoes just as much as me. We'll be successful in finding him. So top net worth, despite dying early, the Storm Spirit.
Imagine if you got money in real life for breaking fruits you didn't like.
I refuse to accept the fact that it is a fruit, by the way.
Tomato is a fruit, Shannon.
I know, but I don't want to believe it. It tastes like a vegetable to me.
I wonder when it got categorized as a fruit.
It actually wasn't that. It was like maybe 10, 15 years ago, probably.
So like
Pluto.
Pluto.
When I grew. Yeah, it's probably around the same timeline as Pluto, not existing. Very sad for the guy that discovered that. You know, some interesting
Pluto
story
is fake.
here. Well, as a planet, it's fake. Yeah, it's fake news. The guy who discovered and named Pluto, they sent his ashes to Pluto, and it took so many years that by the time it got there, it wasn't a planet anymore. Can you believe that your ashes are on Pluto, or at least on a spaceship close to it, or a satellite, whatever you want to call it, and it's not even a planet anymore? It's a very sad life.
I bet he's turning in his grave.
Yeah,
on
his
Pluto.
urn. JT and Kaka, they see Nico, baby, or do they? It's actually nighttime. They're going to see him now.
Now they do.
Get the overwhelming odds into the Mystic Flare and duel. That is the third duel victory for JT. Very successful. Very nicely done. Fata is getting chased in the meantime. We'll get off the Gale, but here comes the Storm Spirit to help out. An easy kill for them as the chase continues on to JT. A glimpse into kinetic field static storm combo. JT barely dies in the midst of the storm.
That was almost a mistake from Hanskin. I was sure he was going to hold glimpse. Because there's no way Legion gets out of that, right? There's a Dragon Knight on top of him and a Thunderstrike. If he presses off the Thunderstrike, Dragon Knight's still on top of him, and if at any point you feel like, okay, he could fog us, that's when you can glimpse. But
well, he was starting to go into the tree line, right?
Yeah, I think he could have waited another. I mean, it doesn't matter. He still got him. So
he's dead, Cinderin. Stop backseating. Well, tier 2 tower.
What was the tower? Yeah, so IG are knocking on the bottom tier 2. They lost their top tier 2 as well themselves to the Brewmaster push earlier. Oh, nice. Kinetic, but just barely getting out in time there. Ollie.
They've passed around this shovel quite a bit, by the way. And he seems to be the current recipient. Try to take advantage of that. Philosopher's Stone on Spectre. Disruptor will be very happy with that one. That's a tango a minute.
Spectre, so you get some gold.
Yeah, why? I mean, he needs it. He's 2 and 3 right now.
Minus 35 damage is too big of a blow, though.
It's okay. You make up with that with your Desolate. It's fine. Actually, it does make up for it technically, right? What is it? 50 pure damage at level 4. Tasty stuff.
Yeah, but only if it's the only target, which...
Obviously, I'm Mimi. You're not supposed to put Philosopher's Stone on Spectre, guys.
Chat, don't do it next game.
Level 9, 33. Still no Thunderclap. Yeah, never seen that before, like we talked about. Very interesting. Would you say it's been successful, or has he missed out on it?
I'm not sold on this. I really like the idea of maxing Cinderbrew because you're playing with the Disruptor, but I feel like at least 1 point in Clap could have made a big difference in that lane, right? Like you get that extra slow, you get some burst damage. I think you have the mana to sustain it in the start. So, yeah, I'm intrigued.
That's the word? Intrigued?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, double damage on Emo right now.
Oh, good.
Centaur is not able to get a successful stun as Vampire Fangs come out. It's a solid item. I'd say that's pretty good for Storm. I mean, it's pretty good for even.
It's good on
just
Legion.
From the spell
too.
damage. Yeah, Legion. I mean, you could
Legion
on
does
a lot of heroes.
both types of
Skyrath.
damage, once the lifesteal and once the night vision. This makes it easier to find those nighttime duels. I actually think it's one of the better heroes in the game to have it on. Whenever you have a hero that has both types of damage in a significant amount, the lifesteals are obviously great. On top of that, you're a frontliner, so you will be taking damage, and this just sustains your lifetime. And then the night vision is just like the icing on the top. Very nice, I think.
This
IG are looking
net
great in this
was
game.
also picked up.
By the way.
Great or
It's
good?
not great. It's not a mega lead, but considering how the laning stage was looking like it could have gone based on the first 2 minutes, I think IG are in a very good position. Their Storm Spirit recovered fully from being solo killed mid and losing his tower. The Drow is completely back in the game. Legion Commander is doing very well. And the flow of their game plan, it starts kicking into gear now. You have a Storm with Bloodstone at 18. He even found the Faded Brooch, so he has that extra mana to work with. Treant is strong right now. Legion Commander we already covered. Yeah, the whole lineup is just very powerful for the next 5 minutes.
What do you think of the Shadow Blade on Drow?
You want to get something done. He's going to buy Silver Edge later for Spectre, so I guess he's just setting up for that, as well as the value of having the Surprise Gust against Brewmaster.
Also
Probably
good
what
against
they're thinking.
DK. Get rid of all that armor. Double value.
Yep. Silver Edge is very nice this game for sure. But yeah, I still think you don't rush Silver Edge. Getting BKB now is absolutely the right choice. I think an overlooked aspect of Shadowblade as well when people talk about it, they focus maybe a little bit too much on the active part. But, you know, the passive stats are not that bad. 30 attack speed and 27 damage is not terrible for a hero
Especially
like Drow.
for a Drow. Yeah.
So if the invisibility has value in the game, it will very often be a good item because of the stats too.
Well, Ollie will be found here. And he looks to be most likely dead. We'll get the overgrowth off. Actually cancels a couple TPs. We're going to follow another chase here, potentially top. Limp. Oh, he was being chased initially, but the Skyrath Mage ult. And not going to be enough to actually kill out Nico Baby. So it's a 2-for-0 across the map. Some nice TPs were canceled by the overgrowth, but they still end up losing 2.
Yeah, IG were looking for their own move top onto this Dragon Knight, but they quickly realized they can't kill him. He's too tanky right now. 2400 health, BKB. Even if you duel him, he probably doesn't die there. So they had to cut their losses, get out, and lose Kaka. They did get one of the 2 bounties, though, so if they get the bottom runes as well, I don't think it's all that bad. Oh, now they might fight Dragon Knight. At least forces BKB here.
Fly getting initiated on the bot lane in the meantime. The trusty net being used, but Fly will die. In the meantime, like you said, duel used on the BKB Limp. They won't get the actual duel victory. In fact, will he even... Yeah, he'll die here eventually. So it's a 1-for-1. The mid for the carry. I guess that's in favor of Alliance.
Yeah, I would say overall, especially if they realized that these bounties are still there, that would have been a big win for them. Nico could have gone and taken both of them, but they have no idea that the runes are available and that they're safe as well. That's...
I guess the biggest difference is you do lose Dragon Form for a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not that big of a deal, though. Looks like JT will be working on a BKB himself. So we'll have the Blink BKB shortly. When do you prioritize Blade Mail on this hero? Like, how do you know what games are right for it? Because a lot of games I'm not seeing it picked up at all on this hero. It just feels like it's one of those... Like, when I look at Blade Mail, I think of 2 heroes. I think of Axe and I think of Legion.
For sure.
Is this not a good game for it?
It's not that great against Spectre, because... Like, usually when you buy Blade Mail on Legion, it's because there's an enemy carry that you hard counter with it. Like, let's say Juggernaut or Troll or PA. You know, those classic, like, really hardcore right-clicking heroes that just kill themselves on a Blade Mail. Outside of that, it got nerfed, right? The way it interacts with BKB is a big problem, because almost every carry nowadays wants to buy BKB. So you have this moment of opportunity where I think it's really good in those games, but then it kind of falls off. But against Spectre, that moment is never really there. Like, you duel a Spectre with Blade Mail on. Of course, Spectre will do damage to itself, but it's not nearly on the tier of the other heroes. Spectre's primary damage is from, you know, longer fights where Desolate kicks in with the Manta style, or where you have Radiance, not that like quick burst. It's not really the kind of hero.
Do you think the nerf to Blade Mail, as they're going to be going for the Roshan here, do you think the nerf is the biggest reason we don't see Axe?
It's one of them.
Because LC is press the attack, right? That's literally the reason you pick her.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple offlaners right now that offer saves, and if you're playing against any of those as Axe, you're not happy. It's not fun to play against Abaddon. It's not fun to play against Omni Knight. It's not fun to play against Legion. And it's also, there's a meta right now that's a lot about sustain. So tons of the heroes that Axe will be facing, he kind of can't really kill if there's any of those saves on the enemy team. So, for example, OD, right? Let's say you play Axe into OD, and the meta for OD is to buy Axe as first item. You're playing against two Astrals. If you don't duel OD, and if OD even has a teammate that saves on top of it, how do you start a fight? Fata on Ollie action top.
He's very angry that they took his tree.
They could have killed him, I think, if Fata sentry'd that and Limp blinked in, but they didn't want to. That was a great Aegis pickup, though, by Alliance. Good call to go Roche. Obviously taking huge advantage of Manta on Spectre. That's another part of this item on the hero. It actually becomes a Roche killer. That pure damage is really significant for a Roche kill.
We're going to get a Haunt here. Glimpse, BKB is going to be cancelled, so LC should be fine. He's actually going to TP out to safety right now as the Skywrath Mage ult is being used, but he does die shortly after. Or Nico Baby did take heavy damage as a result. Another thing to keep in mind, not only do you get the Aegis yourself, you take it away from the best Aegis carry in the entire game in the Storm Spirit. So you talk about like stopping the snowball of a hero, because they don't really have that many stuns to speak of, and that's one way to do it.
For sure.
He's going for Lincoln's. Right now.
Dragon Knight stun, Glimpse. Glimpse is not really that dangerous if you play it well as Storm, but the Dragon Knight stun is concerning for him. Well, he's got a cover for it now. Dragon Knight will be building toward an Orchid, so once he has that, he can break the Lincolns and then stun, or stun and then Orchid, whichever he thinks is more valuable. Orchid obviously lasts that bit longer than stun.
This is interesting. So I assume at some point he's going to turn this into a Bloodthorn, but I mean, that's
for sure.
Maybe, I don't know if you do that right away. Is that something you do right away? Because he's lacking some damage on DK right now. Is they're going to run right into him. That is the level 3 Dragon Form being popped. BKB by Fly. They're going to take out the Disruptor immediately. That's a dual victory as well. Skywrath Mage ult used as well. Venomancer dies as a buyback onto the Disruptor right now. He's going to have to get back into this fight. As Kaka saved for now thanks to the Overgrowth, but dies shortly after. You're seeing the Meteor Hammer used to full effect as well from Ollie, who has not died in this fight. This is actually very shocking for him considering how many times he's died this game. JT dies as a result of that though. And finally, as I speak praise of Ollie, he will die finally.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
For the 6th time this game.
So IG thought they had a chance at this fight. It was on top of their own shrine, right? So you have your own active shrine, and you get the jump. But JT dueled a guy who was already dead. He dueled a 10% HP Disruptor.
And he bought back anyway.
Then they didn't have duel for the rest of the fight. I think that was kind of costly. Either you duel as the starter of the fight like that, so you get the kill and other people don't have to commit cooldowns, or you don't duel the guy who's already dead. But this way, it's kind of the worst thing that can happen, where the fight develops, Spectre gets a flank play, gets in on top of the Skywrath. You're just seeing how miserable it is to play Skywrath. This is a very good illustration of what it's like playing against Lycan as well. The fight starts, you cast your spells, you die. And it will happen all the time. Kaka is buying a Force Staff, it's not going to save him. I feel like maybe the best item he could buy is honestly Ghost Scepter, just so that when Spectre haunts in, he can Ghost Scepter and TP, or reset his position a little bit by TPing to the nearest tower or shrine at the fight. But obviously, Force Staff is really appealing because it's useful for teammates as well. But yeah,
I feel like LC is such an interesting concept, right? Because at first glance, it just feels like it's all about his duel. His top lane, we're going to see initiation from Limp, and the Spectre comes in as well into the Static Storm. A very, very easy kill. Of course, a bunch of ults were expended, as actually we're going to have more action here as Nico Baby uses his Jaunt. Actually, what is that actually called?
Reality?
Oh, that's called Reality? That's terrible. Yep. He's jaunts back to his haunt illusion.
You think reality is
And
terrible?
forces
I
beacon.
think that's a really good name for
He
that spell.
realities
Actually,
back. It's just not
I like
used
that.
well in
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
Really? He realities back. Okay. I'll do it for you, Syndran.
Oh, think about how it works, right? Like you make these ghosts that follow the enemy and that are fake, but they don't. Yeah, they get like attacked by these fake ghosts, and then suddenly one of them is real. I think that's a good name.
Okay.
I've never disliked that spell name.
We also think Onion is a good name for a dog. But Venomancer gets initiated on and will die in the blink of an eye. TP from Kaka will not be
Not
successful
Onion, it's
thanks
no,
to the
it's
Dragon
something
Tail.
else.
Skywrath Mage is traded. That's another death for him. And the Dragon Form
And
is now
suddenly-
complete.
The steam has kind of gone out of IG's lineup a little bit. Losing that Aegis was really costly because they've not really been able to take these fights, and it has secured Nico Baby a level 20 now, which is the 500 health talent. A huge boost to Spectre's overall game impact. It's one of the best level 20s in the game, in my opinion, because
Yeah, he has some of the
health
best,
translates
talents.
to damage. He even got a Mind Breaker now, so now he can fuck Skywrath even harder. I didn't think that was possible. Just jump him reality and then, yeah, hit him once and he's dead. Now he can't even respond, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. Well, Limp has a Halberd as well, by the way. We've been seeing that as a very common pickup on pretty much at least one hero every single game. Where I feel like a year ago that was not the case. Status resistance is really good. Fact that you can get the amplified regen as well, which on Dragon Knight alone is amazing. Is it going to be a Spirit Vessel picked up by anybody on the enemy team? Doesn't look like it. Are you surprised by that at all? I mean, he does have BKB, I guess, but
Yeah, I think I don't know. Spirit Vessel just seems. I think it's an item in games where you get it really early. Like you get it to counter Morphling as Kunkka or whatever. You know, the classic.
yeah.
Hero catches Morph and Vessels him and then he dies. But if you buy it in the mid game, there's BKBs. Somebody's gonna buy a Lotus Orb, and it kind of just becomes this dead slot almost that could have been something else, right? You could have had a Force Staff, or you could have had Glimmer, or you could have had your own BKB almost, right? I mean, it's a decently expensive item. It's 3,000 gold. And the
But it's a
stats
good
on it are
build-up.
really bad if it gets purged.
I mean, earn early is very valuable on some heroes, though.
Sure,
right?
yeah. If you have a hero that wants to buy the early earn, it can be fine. But yeah, in this game, they don't really. So.
We're going to have a
I
jump
think Meteor
in from
Hammer is
Storm
way more impactful.
into
Oh,
the
he is
duel.
toast.
And yeah, Brewmaster is mega dead. So that is now 66 duel damage victory for the Legion Commander.
Fata
As
too?
Fata is getting jumped now, but here comes the counter jump from Limp. Buyback onto the Brewmaster. Remember, he still has his Primal Split available. Fata's going to be the first to die in this engagement. BKB's pop galore. Spectre trying to go on top of Flyfly. He gets the bash with the newly picked up Basher. Very nicely done. Very good skilled plays. Drow Ranger does die. 75 seconds on the deck. Ollie soon to follow. And with this, a tier 2 tower, if not more, can be taken out. You have Dragon Knight, you have the Primal Split, and Spectre is full HP.
Yeah, and you still need to be careful as Storm here with cutting this wave, because if you get caught by, it's a pretty high skill play that Alliance have to make. They have to hit 2 spells at once, like Thunderstrike Yule or Thunderstrike Dragon Knight stun onto him. So
They actually end up not getting much, just the tier 2.
yeah,
Surprisingly.
I'm a bit surprised they didn't do a little bit of chip damage to the tier 3 with their Dragon form, but they played
They
safe.
do have tree though,
all right.
right? So maybe that's why.
True, yeah. It takes a while to heal these towers up, but if you don't see the perspective in going there again within the next few minutes, then yeah, then it would have been wasted time. And there was a lot of farm on the map too. Always look at the big picture here for Alliance. There's like 2 full waves bottom for Nico and a 3rd one coming in. If they push these lanes out in time, they're in a much better position to contest Roshan. So I actually think that was a good call to back off, all things considered.
So Nico Baby, like we said, Manta, Diffusal, Basher will be going for the Abyssal Blade. No big surprise because of their lack of stuns. I was going to mention this pregame. I was going to assume it's a 3rd, maybe 4th item for him. Pretty much a necessity at this point. Smoke onto IG. And JT looking for a little bit more dual damage. They're going to find Limp Is that even something he can go for? He pops his dragon form and dies right away. Oh boy. No buyback to speak of course. Actually, he just buys back now. He must have gotten a gold passively. Drow Ranger doing as much damage as she can. Overgrowth is going to keep her safe. Nico Baby very, very low, being chased by Emo. And there, with the finishing touch, is the Treant Protector with the beautiful Meteor Hammer. And the chase continues as the buyback into the haunt. Fly taking a lot of damage as a result of this haunt. Will be going down eventually to Limp. Yes. A little bit premature perhaps from Nico Baby to reality, but they do find the kill, and it ends up being essentially a wipe other than the Storm Spirit. Did cost heavy buybacks, but they will get Rosh as a result.
This is only worth it for Alliance because Roshan is up. Losing those 2 key buybacks, if Rosh was not available, would have been a really big problem in the coming fight, because what IG could have done then is show up at the Rosh fight, start it, commit to getting kills, and then buyback, and I'll overwhelm them with numbers. But Alliance with a good choice here to take this fight. It looked pretty grim. Like you said, Dragon Knight wasted his dragon form when he got jumped. Instead of pressing BKB, he dragon formed. The Spectre died first in the fight as well, which can be a good thing if you set up a fight this way with Haunt. But yeah, it was scary, but it worked out in the end.
Well, they have one of the worst buyback heroes in the game in Dragon Knight, and one of the best in Spectre, so maybe it evens out.
Well, Dragon Knight's buyback is pretty good if he dies without using Dragon Form.
Sure. Yeah,
which should have actually been the case. That could have been even better for Alliance, but...
Well, do you typically pop your Dragon Form first and then BKB? Because I feel like that's normal.
Handskin? He has a Yule.
You sound very excited about this Disruptor kill, Syndrome. He's dead.
I'm very excited
Emo
about the
very
potential
low
that
on
Emo
mana,
dies here.
though. Gonna get the Dragon Tail off. Ollie is here with the Overgrowth. Doesn't need to expend it, though. Lion's playing it passive.
If there was any way Spectre connected to that, that was a dead storm. And that would have been huge. It ends up being just a Disruptor kill. It cost Emo his 8-second BKB charge, so now he's down to 7. And every second on this matters a lot, because obviously later on you're going to be facing the problem of when your BKB expires, you can get caught by a Dragon Tail, you can get caught by Yule's into Static Storm combo. But man, he is stacked on this Storm. It's no joke. He's level 25 with now Orchid closing in on the Bloodthorn. He's so farmed, actually. How's that even possible? Well, he does have 400 CS, and the next player in the game has 300, so that'll help.
It also helps you have 1 stun on the enemy team if you don't count the Primal Split.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was a great Storm pick, no doubt about it. But he's going to run into more problems now that Spectre has Abyssal Blade. It's one of the Storm hard counters.
I feel like it's the hard counter for almost every hero in the game. Fata getting jumped right off the bat. Limp is here as well as Nico Baby. And they're going to find Ollie. The typical kill for them.
Also Haunt.
True.
This could be an opening for IG in... As soon as the Treant spawns, they have a minute where Drow doesn't, or where Spectre doesn't have her power play. And that really helps Drow in this fight. He's getting messed with by the Spectre every single fight. But without Haunt, then you can buy yourself those extra 5 seconds where you can use your BKB for something meaningful. Now another item that can help with the Hurricane Pike. Create some distance.
And now that Storm also has an Arcane Rune bottled, that's going to be perfect timing for them. While Haunt is down, of course. Still has Aegis, though, of course. Nico Baby is going towards a Scotty right now.
Yep. More stats.
And Limp finishes an Eon Disc. Actually, is the jump in from Limp. BKB, Dragon Form. Not able to find anything. And we'll just have to fly away in shame.
That's not how you make that kill. You have to break the Linkins with Glimpse so Dragon Knight can Blink Stun. If you try to Dragon Knight Stun into Blink Yule and then Static Storm, he'll just BKB and jump away.
Right.
Once you have the Axon Disruptor, this balance changes, of course, but for now, I just think a bit of miscommunication. That was just mistiming. They definitely wanted the Glimpse first to break the Linkin. Or Limp messed up with his own Halberd. That might have also been the case. He can break it himself.
I mean, that takes some time, though, right? And we talked about the stun being a projectile, so definitely some time to actually get away. Disruptor, like we talked about, the Philosopher's Stone, really going to full effect here, Synderin. Going towards that axe, halfway there, essentially. Just needs to stay alive for about 20 more minutes, and he'll find it.
He'll get some CS, I'm
Smoke
sure,
here by
somewhere
IG.
along the way.
Fata has that craggy coat equipped.
This is a big moment. The Bloodthorn on Storm. He has so much damage. They broke. And it's in vision of these Plague Wards.
Oh, they're going to go towards Nico, baby. He's already at half HP, and really all the damage is being done to the Treant Protector, who just buys back into the game. Nico, baby, extremely low. Is there enough vision to actually take him? Nope. He will live. Of course, he still has that Aegis, so it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world anyway. Primal Split was expended.
But Haunt
Dragon
wasn't.
Form's still up. Yeah.
If Nico gets back to base and gets resources, he's completely ready to go. This is the worst possible scenario for that smoke, by the way, for IG. They get spotted by Plague Wards, they don't see anybody, and then when they finally see someone, it's the Spectre with Aegis, and they just jump for it, and it's a useless kill. If they would have committed on this fully, they would have lost the fight and maybe even the game off that move. So at least they cut their losses. Only lost Treant, got out. And now the Aegis is actually expired. So next time this happens, this Spectre is toast. Like, he could have died very fast there if they wanted to.
Yeah, because they didn't
It's
really
very clear
fully
that they
commit,
have
is
the
what you're
damage.
saying, right?
What's that?
They didn't fully commit because of the Aegis.
Right. I think they didn't duel him, right? I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Duel was
He
not
would've
used
died.
at all.
Yeah. Aw, Kaka. Oh, he has a Glimmer now. But Nico has a Dust, so...
He's
Actually
done.
gonna
So
haunt for
Haunt
that.
is actually
Reality mid.
used. Flyfly has to pop the BKB. Gust not able to save Ollie, as that is now the 11th death for him. And the root bash, I'm sure, started that with that BKB pierce. Drow Ranger drops to the deck. Storm Spirit finally comes in, looking for a potential side kill here. And he's just going to be going for the waves, most likely.
Yeah, but Alliance have one in mid, and they have Glyph. So this is either a lane of barracks or 2 buybacks. So what's it going to be?
Well, they won't have Treant Protector
refused?
if they do buyback, so best case scenario, it's a 5v4.
This is
Dragon
defendable
Form
with 4
is
heroes.
running out, and he doesn't feel like a real hero if that's down.
I think
Looks like
cutting
they're
the
gonna
lane
do
is the better choice. But the problem is, if you're also going to lose top, you would have probably wanted to buy back anyway. But, okay, Alliance are going to back off.
And it's outpost time as well. They've been trading this whole game, essentially, which is a little bit surprising, considering you have a Storm Spirit and a
Oh,
tree.
Emo might find a kill here. No, it's Limp coming in.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Looks like Emo is going towards a Shiva's right now. I know this isn't the most normal item on Storm, but would you ever consider a nullifier in addition to the Bloodthorn to prevent like BKBs from Dragon Knight?
For sure, absolutely. I think it's... There's a lot of merit in buying that over a Shiva here, actually. Not just to counter that BKB,
Oh
also
my god.
to counter...
I'm sorry, I have to
potential-
interrupt you, Cinderin. I think that Alliance just got the best neutral item for Spectre. Illusion
one's they
Escape
got?
is so good.
Oh,
This item is so good.
yeah, that's crazy.
It has what's the downtime on it? Is it 100% uptime?
0.
Yeah, it's super good. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? It makes your illusion stronger. He takes the 25 talent, that's 6% dispersion. If you get the 40% haunt illusion damage, I'm guessing that illusion does not count as a haunt illusion, right? It's only when you ult. So like your Manta and your illusion escapes do not count towards that extra damage, although not 100% sure technically.
That's how it should work.
Yeah. Emo is holding the Minotaur horn, by the way. Not sure if there's a better target right now. Do have Legion Commander as a strength hero.
He found a Spell Prism as well. They're going to give that to Skyrath.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, so the reason I like Nullifier as an option on Storm here is that they can counter Ghost Scepter on Veno. And he can kind of... Oh, boy.
Looks going to jump in, gets the stun immediately onto JT. BKB's pop galore. Spectre jumps in onto Kaka as well. There's a Skyrath mage being ult. Spectre is dead. No haunt available. Does have buyback, but would have to TP back the old-fashioned way. And we'll see if this fight continues or not. Poison Nova on the backside. Firefly, or keep calling him that. Flyfly with the BKB. There's a nice overgrowth into the Storm Jump and into the Meteor Hammer. So much damage being done with Flyfly finally doing some damage from the backside. Dragonite pops that cheese and actually staying alive now as a result. He's just taking out everybody. It's 3-for-1 buyback onto the Legion Commander Flyfly. They just cannot catch up to this guy. 33 will TP out in the midst of things. Limp in the meantime on the cliff, but will be pulled back down from Storm Spirit. And this was a brilliant fight from IG. just kiting everybody, and the bashes were, and the overgrowth was especially amazing from Ollie.
That's the big difference between having Haunt buyback and not, right? And no Aegis. They just blasted the Spectre. They got the Silver Edge hit off from Drow, and then everybody focus fired that. Spectre just dies in an instant, it feels like, if she gets Silver Edged. I think you might have to buy BKB on Spectre in this game, just so you can't get burst like this. It's a really big problem when you don't have Aegis.
You have to pop that before the Silver Edge, though, right? It does not take off Silver Edge. The break, at least.
I think it does.
No, I'm pretty sure it does not. We'll double check. Unless they changed it. Bottom rack's being taken out.
I could be wrong.
IG.
I think you need it regardless.
Free rack.
It's actually beside the point. Even if it doesn't take off the Silver Edge, you still want BKB because there's so much damage coming from Skywrath ulti, from all of Storm's damage. Like BKB against Storm halves his damage. You don't get Bloodthorned. You don't get all of the damage from Remnants, the magic damage from Overload. It's worth it.
Bloodthorn. This is an Aghanim Scepter. I hope this goes to Storm Spirit. Actually, I kind of hope it goes to Legion Commander just to see. Well, probably not.
Yeah. Man, check Storm's net worth now. Holy shit. This graph is gonna look.
Alright, just eats a little casual thing, and Static Storm being used mostly didn't actually catch anybody, but did create a little bit of space. Primal Split was expended, and they see that, and as a result, Storm Spirit's just gonna jump in. Bloodthorn applied. But there's the Eon Disc dispelling, keeping him alive for now. There's the break, but yeah, duel to follow. 118 damage now for JT.
Alliance are crumbling from that one fight. It just changed the whole game by like 15,000 gold. It feels like that was a big moment. And it really comes down to who gets the jump, because there's so much burst on both sides now, right? Alliance maybe a little bit less so, but since Spectre has Abyssal and Manta, he can definitely do damage now. This is where you can kill cores in a stun. But it's been IG getting the jumps largely because of Treant Vision, because of Storm's insane reach. And
he's approaching double the net worth, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy how farming he was in this game.
I mean, what do you even buy at this point? He still is going for Shivas.
I still think Nullifier would be great. So to finish off, we never really got to talk about that fully, but there's a couple of value points to a Nullifier here. The obvious one is the BKBs, where you can jump the Dragon Knight and actually kill him. You could jump the Disruptor and he can't Yule's combo, or save himself with Yule's. You can break the Ghost Scepter of Venno. You can break the Eon Disc of Brewmaster. There's plenty of utility here, I think, from a Nullifier. And it also gives damage, right? Like, let's not forget, the item also does something.
Oh! Did you see what I just saw? Ags on that. Yes! Oh, man. This has throw potential. I think, again, he has a lot of damage. I mean, this isn't like obscene.
But
I mean, all you have to do is just duel anybody on the backside and just take him out of the fight. Maybe that's how they're using this.
So here's how I think about Ags on Legion, right? I get what the point is. You get a longer duel, you're safe during it, and you go on a target, and you just know that guy's out of the fight for 8 seconds, and you're fighting that one-on-one. The downside is, you could have almost had an AC instead, right? Like, it's a... You should always consider what you could buy instead. It's not like Ags and Legion is inherently bad. It's just there's a lot of other stuff that can have a very high value too. And of course the part that, well, you get this great duel, but nobody can help you.
Right. Now you're not really an initiator, right? Because your team is not going to help you. You're just a long 8-second disable. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get kills, because if you go onto a support with this much extra damage that he had, again, this 118 is not obscene, but still decent. He can still kill one of these
dual damage taunt too. He didn't take AoE press.
Whoa!
Actually.
Wow, that is.
He's really committing for that.
This is my kind of LC,
press
dude.
would have been amazing this game.
How dare you, Cinderin? This is the build, man. This is how you play.
Great job.
This is like I'm playing this hero right now. I took this hero over about 5 minutes ago. Bought the Ags, got the 25 talent. I'm excited. We just need Limp to get Ags.
I like playing this game where you have to guess the win expectancy. What do you think it is right now?
I'm gonna say 80% for Storm. The Storm for IG.
61.
Really, with this much net worth?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty surprising.
It really is. Sometimes when you look at it, it's like, sometimes it's exactly what you expect, and other times you're like off by 20 or 30%. You're like, wow, that's kind of...
What don't we know?
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Is he going to feed on Storm? Is that written in the cards?
I mean, maybe it's just the fact that one kill in this Storm will swing the net worth by like 5,000, because he's that rich, right? But
he has Aegis right now.
I personally would not... Like, if you gave me these odds, 60 to 40, I would take IG every time. Like, I would say, for me right now, they're at least a 3-to-1 favorite. Yeah. But, you know, it's... There are things that can happen. I also still don't exactly know how the win probability works. Like, if it is based on pub data only, or if it's based on pub and pro data, and what skill brackets it uses. If it uses every skill bracket or only... Because I think it uses all skill brackets, but there's just a lot of overlap. For the most part. Oh, top lane.
Gonna jump in onto Nico,
Good
baby.
Manta.
But yep, Manta takes off several
Good boy.
spells. Gonna jump in with that Abyssal Blade. Static Storm being used kind of defensively here. Limp with that Dragon Form applying a lot of pressure to Emo. Is actually gonna get the kill, but that is the Aegis. Drow Ranger dies as well. He has a buyback available. I believe Storm is just gonna try to zip on out of here with that BKB. We'll see. He gets that AoE stun thanks to that Aghanim Scepter, and he will just TP away. As JT, he cannot blink because of this damage being taken. See if they can actually chase. Doesn't look like that's the case.
There it is. There's the 40% right there. The Ag Static Storm. That's the dream, what just happened for Alliance. They got a double Static Storm on Storm and Drow when none of them had BKB.
I didn't even notice. Yeah, thanks.
It can't get better than that. And they got 1 kill for that and an Aegis, which, you know, given the circumstances, they should be really happy about. But it also, at the same time, is a little bit worrying that this is probably what it's going to take right now to consistently win fights. But that was really nicely done by Hanskin getting that catch.
That was the surprise Ags too, right? So now they know at least. They'll have information.
They knew already.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, he's had it for a little while. I could be wrong though.
He's also holding the Illusionist cape. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I overhyped this item as mid lane.
No.
Storm should be fine. Is this not an item you put in the backpack of Spectre and just use constantly? Isn't it better than Mindbreaker? Oh, duel on top of Hanskin. Doesn't really have that much damage, and of course they can't even help.
Kaka
nice
wish
flow
he
from
could
Limp,
kill him,
though.
but no.
Yep, no dual damage for you, my friend. He pops the BKB. Overwhelming odds will actually finish the kill. Limp taking heavy damage from the Mystic Flare. Now the rest of the team is here. Nice Halberd being used. Dragon Knight taken out of the fight as a roll just a little bit here. Emo with a BKB. He's a half HP. Better be careful. Not doing that much damage right now. Shiva's is popped. You can see that being used now. And more lockdown for the Spectre as Drow Ranger will do so much damage from the sidelines into the multi-shot. JT, no duel to work with. Plus, you don't even want to use it here anyway. As Spectre attempting to run out, but Fly gets initiated on by the Brewmaster. But again, more kiting. Another Mystic Flare. Dragon Knight has taken so much damage from this spell in this game. 33 will TP out successfully. They just cannot catch up to this Drow Ranger for long enough to kill him.
Scrappy fight, honestly, but it's like the perfect case in point of why I hate Legion X right there.
It's so bad.
It's pretty funny.
I want to love it. I really want to love it, but
no. But the thing that's fascinating about this item is that sometimes it is the best. It's just, it's very hard, I think, to set up those exact kind of fights that you want, that you're looking for.
Yeah.
But
well, Primal Split
so
is
repair
popped.
kit being used once.
Yep. Is that the first charge being used?
I think it is. So you should have
those
2 more on the courier, maybe?
Has been activated.
The courier to the bottom right has it.
They are trying their best. This tower has become a hero. Very difficult to kill. There's the jump in. Static Storm
good static.
onto 2 heroes. Skylight Mage is certainly dead. Emo at half HP. The nice defensive spells from the Treant Protector. Emo will jump away safely, though, and the multi-shot from Fly will keep everybody at bay. Gale does connect onto JT alone. Fly, they're just going to reinitiate. Even with the double stun right now, Nico Baby getting dueled. He's just being taken out of the fight completely. Not a whole lot of damage being done. JT will lose the duel and give it up to Spectre. That is not what you want to see.
He backpacked his Ag, Shannon. Did you see that?
Oh, did he?
Actually backpacked it. He's like, fuck this.
Wait, during the duel he did?
I think he did before he dueled.
Oh, okay.
Like,
That's interesting. That's a cool
Oh
play,
man,
actually.
this is literally me every time I try Ags on Legion. I use 2 duels. I'm like, this was a mistake.
I'm exactly the same way.
I no joke. I think you should sell it and buy an AC. Like I really think so. And honestly,
the
they might
backpack
even have
option,
won
though?
the. They
That's
might have
kinda
won the
cool.
game if he had it instead. Like it's just such a. We love talking about it because it's one of those like really polarizing items. It can be amazing and it can be ruining, just like a bad Winter's Curse or Cold Embrace. You know, like anything like that. It's.
Is it polarizing, though? I think most people know it's bad. It's very situational. So the push is happening right now from Alliance, but
it's
Emo...
awesome.
I mean, I'll admit I thought it was awesome when it first came out. I'm one of those guys. Storm taking out the wave.
Oh
Going
boy.
to try to defend
50-50,
here. Limp.
Shannon. 50-50,
right.
Gabe says.
That's actually unbelievable. But right now, Alliance just cannot push. The Storm Spirit is super annoying for them.
If they get Aegis, though, it's really big. Aegis, it's all 4. This is the 4th Roche. And I want to say the biggest spell for the last 5 minutes has really been this Disruptor Axe. The Static Storm is what's making it happen for Alliance. And IG have to find a better way of playing around this, where either... See, now that the Aeon is on Disruptor as well, it's a lot harder.
Please give this to Dragon Knight. Storm's going to jump in!
Oh, he got it!
Takes the Aegis! He gets silenced right off the bat, so he's going to use it. If he can get out, that was pretty big. BKBs jumps away, and they have no way to actually pursue. So he takes the Aegis out of the equation. Question is, who got the cheese, who got the Aegis, who got the Refresher Shard?
So
let's see.
I'm not seeing anything.
I don't see anything either. What?
Did they courier steal it? What was that? Wait, where are the items?
All right, let's see. Let's
Do
look
the
at the items
teams
like
have
this
any
way.
idea?
Refresher Shard on Skywrath Mage. You'll have to check for the Aghanims buff.
Wait, what? Skyroth has Ags as well.
Okay, so Skywrath takes the Ags then.
Well,
So he stole all of them? Did he have room in his inventory? I guess so. Wish we could get a replay of that. I'm sure the chat...
I actually don't. I
better
actually
than us.
genuinely don't know what happened. I thought it was only Storm jumping in. How did they get 3 items out of that?
I have no idea. It's possible he backpacked it. And just picked
And then he
everything
connected
up.
with Skyroth that fast and gave him the 2 others?
I mean, the cool thing is he can stun the entire team in the Roche pit, so this hero is like god tier right now for that area of the map. I'll just assume that's the case for now. So Skywrath Mage gets the Ags. He basically gets double spells. That's the way it works. Everything is cast twice. It's
He
okay.
doesn't have mana to use the Refresher, though.
On who?
On Skyroth. If you cast all your spells
yeah.
twice, he actually can't afford it.
That's true.
Gale?
The Storm Spirit right now approaching level 30.
Oh, that's a big...
Overload pierces
Big deal.
immunity. Extra. So the Electric Vortex half second is huge, considering you have Aghanim Scepter, obviously. Obviously 400 HP. I mean, all of this damage, or all of these talents are actually pretty solid. So this has been.
You essentially get
impressive display.
130 extra damage per hit, right? When you reach level 30. Because now you get 30 damage on Overload, and it pierces immunity. And Storm is going to jump before every attack. So...
Just giving me every rune right now.
It's pretty nifty.
And he himself has a Refresher Orb, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to get dispelled, so no more haste for him. Very nicely played there from 33. As here's the jump
Kaka.
in. Eon Disc is being procced from Kaka. He needs to get off his spells as soon as possible. But there's the Storm Spirit being pesky. BKB's pop galore. They're seeing the Aghanim Scepter come into play from the Skywrath Mage. Static Storm only onto 1 hero, but it is the very important Drow Ranger. See if he can actually take it. Pops the Manta into the cheese. Limp jumps in, but gets disabled pretty much right away. And there's the Pulse Nova, or the Poison Nova from Venomizer going off as well. There's the duel. Is that the Aghanim Scepter? It is, and he looks like he will finally get a kill with it, as everyone is dying from Alliance right now. IG cleaning up completely. Spectre does have buyback, but no Haunt available. And Atos does not connect from Handskin, so the buybacks will come out from IG as they want to finish this game. They want to force the buyback onto the Spectre, and they know that Dragon Form is down as well, although he did take the 20% cooldown reduction.
If they have timed this, they know Dragon Knight doesn't have buyback at all. It's 3-minute cooldown. So if anybody has been paying close enough attention to those buyback timers, this is a 5-on-4 power play for the next minute and a half, and that realistically should end the game. You still have a very strong Storm. You have the Refresher Shard still ready on Skywrath. He could give that to the Storm now, so he doesn't need the Orb. If he wants.
Oh, Storm jumps in, kills a Courier. Not sure what they were going for. Probably the secret shop.
He was trying to get Refresher on Spectre.
Spectre. Yeah, no buyback anyway. Might as well try to go for that. Although he didn't have enough to actually finish it quite yet. Repair Kit. Everyone's favorite neutral item. Keeping things at bay for the ridiculous squad of IG. Crazy items. Primal Split can be used pretty much off cooldown now thanks to that talent. Repair Kit still doing its thing. Not sure if they have any more charges left. Fly actually jumps into the front. There's the kinetic field. He's just staying in the air thanks to that Storm Panda.
That last fight, it was so important. Like, oh, hang on.
Storm's gonna jump in. There's the stun onto 2. Eon Disc is procced onto the Disruptor, but there's a static Storm. This is pretty big. Haunt is gonna be used as well. Nice counter initiation from Mystic Flare, the Skywrath Mage, but Storm Spirit will die. 100 seconds on the deck. Does have buyback, of course. BKB pop by Fly. I think they just want to get the hell out of dodge. 14 seconds left on Dragon Knight in terms of coming back into this game. This is a hard game to finish.
Brewmaster finds them here. He's really fast.
He is quite fast indeed. Ollie with the gem, so he can see this. Fly should be fine.
Drow went the right way. Whew. Dangerous stuff. So the fight before this, the really key factor in that was that the Static Storm was used on Drow, and she survived with like 10% HP, Manta, then cheesed, and was fully back in the fight. When this Static Storm catches a guy and he dies, any core, the fights for IG are still extremely hard, even though they're 30k ahead. They don't have a reliable way of saving them. They don't have a banish or... Yeah, a banish. They don't have it. So you can't you can't press the attack somebody and they're gonna live, because they're still stuck in the field. Storm combo.
Do you think do you like the Refresher
25 now?
Disruptor is... Oh, yeah.
So the field lasts for 8.4 seconds, and Static Storm lasts for 7. So it's a 7-second Doom AoE, basically.
Yeah. Very, very strong. 33. We'll find the Skywrath Mage. Does have buyback.
He's dead.
Oh, yeah. They actually popped the Limp ult for this. What? Why? I need to be explained. I need you to educate me on why that's a thing. Are they afraid of other people being nearby? And we have vision.
Maybe. It's also not that big of a deal. You have 30-second downtime. Since you have the 20% CDR, it's not that bad. Yeah, he could have definitely held it.
That Aegis and Agsteel and Refresher Shard was so big. Because
it was huge.
That's a free Axe for Dragon Knight. And we've talked about that before. That is a pretty strong Axe. You get all this magic resistance, your slow becomes ridiculous. Just become an absolute beast. You have terrain walking.
Yeah. Could have also been an Axe for Spectre.
Do you like the Ags on Spectre? I've never seen it personally.
It's good in super late game scenarios like this where you're that big. It gives him the possibility to haunt, and then he also has, he has both.
Still.
Yeah, he has 2 different illusion plays that then exist, and it's really.
I mean, I find it hard to believe that they would choose Spectre over Dragon Knight, though. Would you agree with that?
I actually think they would.
Really?
But it's only because at this point, 60 minutes in, I don't think Dragon Knight Ags is that valuable anymore. It's more of a mid-game power item.
Interesting.
It falls off, I would say.
Very interesting. Do you like the fact that Skywrath Mage has a Refresher Shard? I mean, does Tree even have the capability of casting Overgrowth 3 times, mana-wise? Technically he does, but can't do much else. So maybe it's best just to keep it
I think they should give this Refresher Shard to probably the Treant or the Legion. Give it to Legion and replace it with the Ags. They can win 2 duels and actually win them,
I want to say he's won 2 duels, maybe 1 since Ags.
He's won 1 since he got the Ags. 1 duel.
So he's gained
15 minutes ago or something.
So 40 damage plus, I guess it's 66 total. Oh, Storm Spirit's going to jump
and
get a beautiful disable. Dragon Knight gets dueled and dies. Does not have Dragon Form, can buy back into the game. And with that, IG going to reset.
Limp's gut instinct when he gets jumped is to pop Dragon Form, not BKB. He really needs to remove this mental block. Like that's.
If you think about it, though, that is normal. The only thing that's going to
save you when you get jumped is popping BKB. If you think you're dead, you're dead. Dragon Form is not going to do anything for you. He has to instant BKB when he gets jumped. It's the only way.
Unless a nullifier's picked up, then you have no choice but to die.
Yeah. Oh, that's big. He will need to buy back, but there's no haunt now.
No haunt. 33. Looking just
Trying to
be
buy
an
time.
annoying pest. I was gonna say. What was the word I was gonna use? I ended up saying peasant. That doesn't make any sense.
And absolute peasant.
I take no pleasure in
Another courier killed.
courier has
This is IG's this time though.
Spectre
Just
gets level
Skyrim.
30 now, Shannon. That's a big moment. 1 creep to go.
Yeah, that's.
He is missing a
pretty good.
grand total of 22 experience.
40%
There it is.
haunt illusion coming out now, so his illusions are
Dagger
crazy
slow,
good.
dagger cooldown.
Oh, jump in again from Storm Spirit. He gets 3 heroes. Eon Disc is popped as well. And they're seeing Skyrim Mage continue to do a lot of damage. Duel onto the Disruptor. Will not be able to get Static Storm off until he buys back, which should be coming soon if IG actually continues this. Vata pops the Poison Nova, but then just casually runs back. Does IG? This is a very tense
Man,
game.
what a game. There's some crazy shit going on.
Crazy shit indeed. Level 25 incoming. Well, not really that close for Fata, but just something to keep track of. His 25 is pretty decent.
It usually
I assume
is.
he goes
It's
to
just really
Plague
late.
Words. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing.
It's really late.
JT's probably really wishing he gets to 30 so he
Another
can
ulti
retake
gets
this
used by
25
the
talent.
peasant.
The peasant himself. Fly. Now, looking at Fly's items, it doesn't even look like he's that farm. Am I crazy? It's like super defensive.
It's because you're missing that standard, stereotypical super late game item like Butter or Satanic.
Yeah.
I mean, he is very rich, right? He has 35k net worth. He just hasn't bought the classic late game items.
Right. Well, fortification is
It's a
popped.
jump.
Emo's going to pop in with that BKB. Duel is
Oh.
applied onto the Spectre. Will he be able to get the kill? No, Spectre wins the duel. That is 66 extra damage he's picked up, but he is dead. No buyback whatsoever, but they do find the Storm Spirit. Again, buyback is available for him. They lost Legion Commander, who just gets buyback now through the passive gold. If they know that Spectre does have buyback in 13 seconds. I've definitely kept track of that, so this will go back to a stalemate.
You know, the thing about
Oh.
games that are in this state is that neither team really knows anymore. Like, you have so little experience with playing games of this kind that
I have a lot. I'm the expert now.
you're just going, you know? Like, you don't really know. If you see an opportunity that looks promising, you pounce on it.
Right.
And this buyback from Storm is really good. They're going to get all 4.
They're gonna get everything, and Alliance will not be able to jump them. All right, let's keep track of who actually gets what in terms of the Ags.
Spectre won the duel, Shannon. 66 damage.
I know, pretty crazy. Doesn't get that talent though, unfortunately for him. Venomancer dies right off the bat. Remember, Spectre can buy back and haunt, but not gonna do so. I hear a Skywrath Mage ult being used. Handskin blinks out. He does not have buyback. This would be a pretty giant kill. Remember, Static Storm has been huge. Eon Disc does proc. He has no teammates. Oh, he actually
Refresher
uses
or
Refresher
blink.
to try to TP out, but the Overgrowth cancels it, and that is a
That's
huge
big.
kill.
That is the big kill.
They need to go get mana and reset, but they have 120 seconds to push this. Of course, 70-minute items are coming, Synderin. I really need this to happen. We need Fallen Sky. We need Apex on Drow. We need everything. Please, God. Gaben.
I'm afraid we're not getting there, but let's see. Maybe Alliance can hold. I feel like this hold is going to be insanely difficult. 100 seconds without Disruptor. You're playing into Aegis, Cheese, Refresher. Everybody's basically maxed out, more or less, on the IG side. What did you mean by that? You said Spectre doesn't have the talent or something a moment ago?
Yeah, duel. You won't be able to get the extra 40 duel damage, right?
He does.
He does get it?
If you click Spectre now, he has plus 66. That's why that duel win is so...
I
It's
thought
like a relic.
he won 2 duels, though, didn't he?
Oh, has he?
That's,
Oh, so it just just coincidentally, it's 66, which is the exact amount you lose now. I mean, it's possible, right? Mathematically.
yeah, I'm not... I can't do math
Legion
right
could
now.
have
This
lost-
is too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, he could have lost some other duels. Maybe you're right.
There comes the jump in onto Spectre. There's a lot of damage coming out, though. They lock down Storm Spirit. He does have the Aegis, of course. So it would not be the biggest kill. Well, he's very low.
DKU's Dragon Form BKB.
He has to go back to base. And, I mean, if you're Alliance, you have to give up Megas, right? There's no way. There's no way you can get caught off here. But can you come back from Megas? I mean, it is 67 minutes.
They're playing with so much confidence right there. There's a duel.
Skywrath Mage ult used, but remember, it doesn't work at all on top of the duel. It's going to be close. Not sure who actually won that, but Spectre will live. Does have buyback. Has not expended it yet. Aegis has been popped. Limp. There's the buyback into the Haunt. Disruptor is back in 13 seconds. This could be big if Alliance can just hold on a little bit longer. And it looks like we might get to the 70-minute mark. Cinderin, how dare you? Please, God. 2 more minutes. I need Fallen Sky. Please, God.
They're absolutely going to play the map now. You've got to do it. You've taken 2 lanes of racks. You're in full control of the map. You know these big items are coming up in just a moment. You used your Aegis. You used a buyback on Legion. It's either that or they're going to all in on killing Spec. But man, this Spectre is so fucking tanky.
Yes, he is.
35 armor, 5,400 health, and dispersion. You saw how much they dumped on him, and he still didn't die.
Cinder, I have a really important question for you. So because of this backpack timing on Illusionist Cape, can you use Illusionist Cape on your courier, Cinderin? Can you do it? Does it work?
No, it only self-targets, right?
I mean, will it create another courier? I want another courier illusion.
I don't think that works.
I was waiting for you to laugh. Jesus.
No, I had to do a double take that you couldn't cast it on yourself from the courier. If it was targetable, then
we need it.
That would be legit.
Yeah, we have 1 minute to go.
Okay, so... Damn. I think... Okay, we're reaching a point now where I actually think Legion X is good.
Really?
Yeah, so...
It only takes 69 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. That's why. It's a nice time now. No, the reason is it's because you've reached a point now where this Spectre seems almost unkillable, but Spectre's damage is not that significant if you just... I think you blink duel the Spec and you kill his team. Oh my god, 33.
Oh, kinetic field, static storm. Will they be able to follow this up with anything? A double static storm, in fact. Storm Spirit is dead. No buyback. Legion Commander looks to be next on the plate as well. 2 dead. All it costs them is a Dragon Knight and a buyback on the primal splitting Brewmaster Fly attempting to run away. Has a Hurricane Pike available, but Nico Baby is continuing the pressure. There's another kinetic field. Remember, this thing lasts forever. BKB pop into the force half. He's going to attempt to BKB or BKB TP. Oh, the bash comes in, and Fly will likely die if they can find him. Spectral Dagger does connect into another kinetic field. The raid doesn't have radiance or anything like that. Do they have any actual vision? Finally, they take him out. Good lord, he does have buyback. But that is enormous. It is now the 70-minute mark. I don't even know if they have time to go into the jungle because they know that Storm Spirit has no buyback. That is a Seer Stone. That gives a shit ton of cast range and vision bonus at night. It's okay. I'd put it on the medium tier of tier 5 items. Myself being the expert that has played many games at 70 minutes, Cinderin. I don't know if they have time to actually go into the jungle and find these items. They need to potentially just push this. Megas don't matter anymore. They can just go for Ancient. Storm Spirit dead for 2 minutes and 17 seconds in terms of buyback. Will be back in 61 seconds himself. Skywrath Mage pops the Eon disc. 33 does have Primal Split. Will pop it. Remember, he can just go for buildings if he really wants, but they're going to use the Static Storm again. This time onto Skywrath Mage. Getting extremely low. Firefly is actually doing damage to Spectre. There is the Overgrowth. Can they actually take him out? He's going to pop that actual refresher to Spectral Dagger out, and he will actually be saved, surprisingly enough. So he is still alive. Might have to refresh here. There's the Poison Nova. Skywrath Mage again with that ultimate. Storm Spirit back in 30 seconds. It's time to back up and get some neutral items, for God's sake. Please.
Oh, he got out. If they would have killed Drow there, that's... I mean, I don't even know if it's Game Shannon anymore, because Storm is about to respawn. That was a huge hold from IG. They lost 1 lane of barracks.
Oh, God.
Whew.
Limp is doing the right thing. Limp is being a good boy. Going to the jungle. 70 minutes. Jungle time. All right, what do we got? So we have the Seer Stone. Again, it's okay. Is it good on anybody? Like super good on anybody? Disruptor? I mean, that's an extra 400 cast range on Static Storm.
He doesn't feel like he has an item slot. I actually think all of Disruptor's items are more important. Maybe you could swap out.
Ooh, that's... Okay, we talked a little bit of shit about this item, but it could be good. It brings you back to... Well, it doesn't bring you back to life. If you die, essentially, you come back with half HP immediately.
Lethal damage is prevented. And instead, the wearer's healed to half health, and non-ultimate ability cooldowns reset.
They also get a fusion rune, which gives you all runes in one, but you can only use it 3 times.
Give that
Storm
to a
Spirit
support
item.
and cast it on Drow. I believe it is targetable. Yeah, it's targetable. So give that to a support and use it on your Drow in the fight. She's gonna
Ex
pop
Machina,
off.
that refreshes all your items and gives you 25 armor to boot. And it has a pretty low cooldown of 30 seconds, so pretty nice, actually. Spectre finally buys that refresher. So we have one more item for Alliance and one more for IG. We are still waiting for like the actual game-breaking items, which I assume... Well, Apex is the one that I think IG desperately wants for their Drow. Although, can you even replace it with anything? I guess the Fusion Rune for now. You don't need... I mean, you'd lose Manta if you put these items in your inventory. There's a lot of decisions to be made.
I really think you put the Fusion Rune on a support and target the Drow with it.
So you're 100% sure you can target it, right?
If you read the text, grants the target the bonuses.
Okay. Well, keep
if
in
it
mind
was
that
yourself,
these
it would
teams,
say grants the user. Right?
These teams probably have not played many 7-minute games like me, so
True.
They won't know this until they actually use it.
He put it in backpack now to use Manta, but it looks like they are going to keep it on Flyfly. Treant could absolutely swap Tranquils for a Fusion Rune. That would be much, much better.
Apex on the side of IG.
Oh my god.
Give it. I need to look at this damage increase right
81 agility for Drow coming in.
Oh. And you have the Fusion Rune that you can cast from somebody else. That's nice. All right, now we need Fallen Sky for Alliance. That's pretty good on... No, I'm not sure who it's good on, actually. They need to buy a Blink and a Meteor Hammer. They have Blinks on Venno and Dragonite right now. Maybe that's not the best.
Drow has 57 base armor right now.
Very tanky.
So absurd,
she uses the Fusion Rune, by the way, and backpacks it. So she has every single rune right now. Alliance still don't have that third item. Here comes the jump in from the Storm Spirit onto 3 heroes. BKB's pop galore. He's just going to jump right back out. Drow Ranger doing a little damage on the backside. Hanskin very low. Very nice overgrowth onto 3 heroes. And that is 3 dead in the blink of an eye for Alliance, as they had the buyback onto 2. But Dragonite is not one of those. He has absolutely no buyback to speak of. As Drow Ranger looking to just take buildings. Do they actually care about megas at this point? I mean, potentially they do. Fusion Rune can be used again if he just takes it out of his backpack.
45-second cooldown.
Oh, that's right. He kept it in his backpack, so the cooldown is super long now. All right, no Dragonite buyback. They should know he doesn't have buyback right now.
Dude, look at these illusions.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. Not too bad. 33. Just trying to be a nuisance at this point of the game. Here comes the Storm Spirit again. Jumps in onto 2, but the Static Storm used and to 0 effect as 3 die for Alliance. And Mega Creeps coming for IG, as it looks like they will finally win this marathon of a game. 3 neutral items, better than 2 Cinderin. My god. What a fucking game. Jeez.
Ugh.
That's nice.
Despite his best efforts, Legion Commander Ags won the game.
He really tried to throw the game there, but it worked out for him.
Wow. That was an awesome game. That was super entertaining. Tons of crazy fights. It really comes down to who gets the initiation. And I think the biggest playmaker of the game, absolutely emo on the Storm Spirit.
Yep.
He got like countless 3 or 4 man vortexes in this fight, or in this game, in the later portion. And that's really what sealed the deal for them. On the other side, Alliance, I think they were kept in the game by Disruptor Static Storm for like 20 or 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy shit. Like when it gets to late game, like I said, these teams, at some point, it's just instinct the way you're playing at this point. My guess is that in total, these players have maybe played, like they've each played less than 5 games over 70 minutes. That's my guess on average. So
yeah, probably
when these items come in, you see they don't even, it seems like they don't know how Fusion Rune works, right? Unless I'm the idiot, but I'm pretty sure it's targetable.
I mean, how about this? In between games, I will go test it out in a lobby. and we'll let you know what the verdict is on that. Looking at the graph right now, very even until about the 48-minute mark. Then it started to skew in the favor of Invictus Gaming, but Alliance did have chances. They did
look
catch
at the win
Storm
rate graph.
Spirit. Yeah, the win
It was
rate
never
was pretty
over
even.
75 for either side.
Yeah. But there was that one moment where Emo was without buyback that I thought Alliance might be able to take it, but they just didn't have enough damage at that point. We have 4 Aghanim Scepter synths being eaten this game, 368 damage on Legion Commander. We had 5 tier 5 neutral items. We didn't really get to see Phoenix Ash. It's kind of a boring one. It has a very high win rate, Synderen. Did you know that? Because it only counts if it's in your inventory. So if you never use it, you usually win the game. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Yep.
But this was a fabulous game. I'm so happy I got to cast a 70-minute game. That's what I was hoping for.
You know what I feel like when you reach the 70-minute game and somebody gets Apex? The first thing that comes to mind for me is Angel Arena. You know? Did you ever play that custom game in Warcraft 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like somebody just bought 80 tomes of agility right there, and then they go fight again. That's literally what happens. Holy shit, man! That drow was insane. Like,
I mean, let's be like, the tier 5 items are intended to finish the game. That's the whole purpose.
Oh,
and
they did.
It
so,
did.
Working as intended.
And Apex, it's not always a great item, like that good. It's good for sure, but this game specifically, like on a Drow Ranger, that is like the literal best item you can get. So they definitely lucked out in that regard. But they were winning, right? They had the advantage. Stormshire was really balling.
Genuinely think they could have got any tier 5 items and won this, but this game is a bit on a knife's edge. There's like 50k gold lead, but you have the feeling that Alliance could win any fight, and it was more down to Storm Spirit's great plays than items, I think, how this ended up. Right. But it's always just funny to see, right? Because it's so crazy. But in essence, I don't think, they didn't use the Phoenix Ash at all. So that's kind of a dead item. So they kind of only used 2. And one of them they only used once. They used 1 charge of the Fusion Rune. So how many neutral items did they really use?
And Alliance only got 2 out of 3. I mean, we did see Disruptor. I mean, that cast range is like crazy good. And wasn't his inventory. So yeah, that was quite the game.
Okay, we get a little bit of a break, and so do the teams, and then we go to game 2.
Hoping for another 70-minute game to come. Yeah, game 2 is going to come up shortly, guys. This is a best of 3 for the upper bracket portion of the Group C for the DreamHack Major. So stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next.